everyone. Let's welcome our guest on, Luke. He is from Opie-Law.
Oppies-Law.
Oppies-Law. Sorry, my pronunciation sucks. So yeah, hey Luke, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you tell us all a little bit about what that is and what that means for you? Let's kind of start there so
So
they
in 2000,
understand.
in 2013, I got real sick and off of pharmaceuticals, and I went out to the West Coast with some friends and learned about RSO and cannabis and a healing factor. And long story short, after traveling across so many states, telling my story, here we are now. And while I was doing this, I wanted to create and do something that would free this plant, that would give us all the right to use it. And so that's where Opie's Law kind of came up with me and Matt Gordon. We're like, oh, that's a great idea. So I did some research, figured out what it has to do to become a law and a bill, and I've been pursuing that ever since. And the acronym for Opie's Law is Other People's Passion is Everyone's Success. So it's not all about me, it's all about trying to make the world a better place.
So what exactly would the law be, and where could people
Just
vote on that?
just simple, just like tobacco, but it gives us the right to use it, grow it, do what we want as a common person. If we want to be in a business with it, then you go fight with who you got to. But just everyday normal people like me, like you, that just want to grow a couple plants, have their own medicine, we should have that right no matter where we're at. You know, state of Indiana, you can't even talk about the plant without going to jail.
Okay.
And here in Michigan, right next door, you can pretty much have a free gateway of your cannabis. You know, so it's about changing that too.
Definitely. So at this point, what have you guys fully accomplished? Like, how many states have you gotten it to where they can actually be more affiliated with cannabis?
We've worked with several people in several different states with their mission as well as ours. Um, I can't give you an exact number because it's
Okay.
been so many over the past
Well, that's a good
years.
thing, though. It's been so many. That's what I love to see and hear. Spreading and sharing the love of cannabis and making sure that it's legal for everyone to do so.
Well, it's also trying to get others to leave their comfort zone to speak up for it too. You
Okay,
know,
let's talk
as I
about that
was
for a moment. How would you assist someone who is scared to speak about it? Like, what services, or how would you help them overcome that?
Well, you first of all start and make it comfortable to have a conversation with them about it. Normally, these people haven't never had anybody to talk to because they've been in the closet smokers. So, when I first meet someone who this is completely new to, I try to get to know them first and figure out where they need the help at the most. You know, I mean, are they an indica person? Are they a sativa person? What are they trying to accomplish as well? Do they want to be in business? Are they trying to do this on their own? So we kind of help with all those different avenues.
I like
And
that. I do. Definitely, because a lot of people are very shy and private about their use of cannabis. Even though there are so many that are upfront, there's still a large amount of closet smokers, as you said. So I like that they have a safe place to go and, figure out those questions and ask those questions that need to be answered.
well, it's like I've been saying for years. It's the education is key. And so the more they know and the more they're aware of, it makes it easier for them to step forward too. You know, I've been a voice for a lot of voices that can't speak up, and I feel that's a goal that I've accomplished for so many other people. You know, it's not easy for somebody to leave their comfort zone and go, yeah, cannabis is my thing, especially in states that doesn't allow it. You know, there's, besides Indiana, there's a couple other states that you can't even have this plant. You know, so we need together to change these laws all over the country. And with this Opie's Law, after seeing how many different bills were on the floor for different parts of this plant all over the country and how it was different in every state, that's why we wanted to create something that would make it equal for everyone, no matter where you stood at.
I like that. Now, I've got a question. I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but your name, when it says Opie, it reminds me of how a lot of people get off of opiates and convert to cannabis. Does your name have anything to do, or your laws have anything to do with supporting that?
No, it never really has come up into a conversation until now.
I'm sorry, but if you've
Oh
kind of
no.
heard a lot of the medical podcasts that I've done, most of the time opiates are provided, or some form of narcotic for pain meds versus cannabis. And they kind of get a lot of people hooked to those, and then they transition to cannabis and realize it's a lot healthier, better, and more
I
effective.
I tell people and people that know me, we stress the fact that this is a decision that you need to make on your own. We don't try to push any doctors or anything like that to people. We want them to understand what it can do for them. And also, I let people know too, there are some pharmaceuticals people need to take.
Correct.
And I know some pharmaceuticals can work together with cannabis. I understand that now. It's taken years to figure that out for me and to accept it. So you get a lot of people that get a hold of us to try to figure out what's best for them, and we just kind of give them a direction they need to be in.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. So I'm sorry. It's just I don't know. Sorry you hadn't really never been asked. It's just something that crossed my mind from a lot of podcast shows that I've done. So it wasn't something that I was sure about or not just with the title. So the stoner in me had to know. I was like.
You're good.
So what kind of drove you into cannabis? What was your first cannabis experience like, and could you kind of tell us a little bit about why you use cannabis? I know that was a few
Um,
questions at once.
I started using cannabis and experimented when I was 15, and it led me into a very long life of growing weed for other people and using it, but never understanding why I was in need of that because of my endocannabinoid system. Never knew that type of stuff till I went to the West Coast. And once I was out there for a few months and got to understand it, got to learn it, that's where it changed for me. And that's when I knew life and mental health could be managed with cannabis. And that's where this whole drive has been, from the mental health, because we all, somewhere along the line, are dealing with some kind of a mental struggle.
I agree. I definitely do. Because for someone who is chronically ill myself, and having multiple diseases, you're always trying to swallow that or process that or deal with the symptoms or side effects or surgeries or treatments of that. And there's lots of ups and downs and good days and bad days. So depression is definitely something that comes with it, regardless by choice. It's like you have good days and bad for sure. So I definitely feel like the mental health is always evolving around chronically ill as well. Like they go hand in hand. I kind of feel like.
Right, because your mental health could lead into sickness.
Yes.
So we try to express the fact to people when we're talking to them. You can't just quit pharmaceuticals cold turkey. There's a lot of them that you have to be weaned off of, and that's where cannabis is coming at. I got a gentleman out in PA, a really good friend of mine. We'll call him Richard. And when we first met him, he was on 13, 14 strong medications every day. And today, he is actually only taking the medicine for his diabetes that he has to. Everything else is out the window.
I like that.
We don't go and brag about it or gloat about it, because it's nothing that nobody else hasn't done. I'm sure there's tons of thousands of people that has helped somebody out. We just do it because I want to. We don't make money at doing this. We never have.
Yeah,
And
so
it's
let's
not
talk about that,
that.
correct? You're a nonprofit, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So, what could people do to donate or help to your cause since you don't profit?
Well, there's a donation button section on our website. We encourage people to go to and donate through that.
What
And
is your website?
it's Oppies-Law.com. Pretty
Okay.
simple.
Can you spell that for those of people in other countries who aren't sure of the American spelling for that?
It's Oppies hyphen LA law.com.
Okay, so you guys can go there, donate. What do you use donations for? How would you help someone with the donations?
We use our donations to help further education with individuals. Though some of that monies too that we get help with things that we're doing. We gas money to get to events, helping put a couple dollars into our inventory of shirts and whatnot to help have giveaways and stuff like that, because we're trying to get people to interact on something so simple. And there's a lot of fun that we do with our group and our company as well.
Where is your group located?
We're located all over the country.
No, I'm like, what platform? I know I follow you in a Facebook group. Is that the one you want? Do you want to share that group for others to join?
It's Oppies-Law Group on Facebook. We're also on Instagram at Oppies-Law 1130 and Twitter, and we're tons of places. I just don't have them all in front of me.
No, I totally get that. I'm the same way with some of mine, but I just throw a few out there so that way people can find you and follow. So at this point, why do you personally use cannabis, if you don't mind me asking? Would you share a little bit of your personal journey? I know you kind of started to earlier, but we kind of got off track on that.
Well, I use cannabis to help manage my mental health. There are a couple pharmaceuticals that I do have to take, dealing with health issues. And I learned by using cannabis and how I was using it with an indica to a sativa to a THC to a THCA. Learning those things has taught me how to use the plant with my mental health and to be okay. I work a job now, which I wasn't, excuse me, haven't been able to do in years. I'm a father to my kid better than I've ever been. And it's the small things like that that has kept me going through this journey and keep doing this without giving up. And then we have a lot of people that are encouraging us on the sideline as well.
So I have a question about your dosage. When you realized that you weren't using cannabis, you said the right way, and you educated on different levels and was able to properly medicate, what would you say the difference for you? You said the physical difference, but what would you say, like, that you actually felt? I know what you were capable of doing, but how did you, like, what were you before you were capable? Like, can you describe the transition a little bit about that so the followers can get a better understanding of how maybe down you were prior to getting back up?
So I suffer with bipolar and depression and PTSD.
Okay.
That's what I've been labeled with. And dealing with those three things alone is a handful, and then you add life and life circumstances on top of that. It'll really drag a person down. It dragged me down pretty far. And like I said, I wasn't able to work. I hadn't been able to do a lot of things. Since I've been doing cannabis, there's been so much more that I can do. This is the first job and working that I've done in years.
And what are you doing now for a living?
What's that?
What is your job now? Like, what type of industry?
I prefer not to say.
Okay, that's fine. Like, I was just wondering, like, was it construction? Is it like office? Like, what type of?
No, it's in public relations.
Public relations. Okay, so that means you deal with people, which is even a really good transition to go from being at those labels that you were labeled to being able to be in public relations is a big transition, because normally people with those particular labels would prefer like a stock job or behind where they don't deal with the customers, things like that, and so to go from a 360, basically, that's amazing.
Right, and it's a struggle every day. So I mean, it's not perfect, and I realize that it will never be perfect, but it's where it should be at right now.
Yeah, it's just being happy with what you have, like, at the current moment is so important. So at this point, who kind of has been your support system through all of this? Your trials, your tribulations, who's been there?
So my parents out in California, my adopted parents, have been my biggest fans. And then my 11-year-old son, he's my VP, I say. And that's about all I've really had besides some really close friends, because I keep my circle small.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a couple good people that have been really strong supporters for me and helped us do a lot of stuff. You know, we've made it to a lot of states, and it's taken all of us working together to do so. So I tell people that want to come into this industry, you don't need 1 million followers. You don't need all of that. You just need 10 good people to make a change.
You're right. Just doing something small every day, does add up. Kind gestures, good information to people, good, direction. Sometimes people are just looking for advice on like what they should do next, and they're stuck. I like that you're able to be there and do those things for people. It's amazing. I've been watching what you've been doing for quite some time now. And I just was really drawn in, and I'm like, dude, I just got to do an interview with this guy because I feel like what he's doing is genuine. It's not really about the giveaways. You do have giveaways and all of that. Don't get me wrong, but it's like the group I feel like isn't there for the giveaways like some other groups are. They're actually there for you and what you're offering and the nonprofit services that you're providing, the intelligent information sometimes that you're able to give. I kind of feel like they're drawn to you directly, per se, versus in your brand. Like they're actually purchasing shirts and gear that have like your logo on them. So that's true love and support. I feel like, it's not about the numbers. Numbers do not make or break a situation. All you need is a good few supporters, and that's it. And that's where it's at, actually. Because sometimes the numbers are more about spamming, or they're there for the giveaways, or they're there for the freebies versus the actual service.
Right. And see, I with what we do, we're working with the public. We're dealing with the public. I'm the type of person that I want people to understand why that page is there. I want people to understand why the website's there. You know, we don't sell things. We don't solicit things. We don't let other people do it as well. You know, and there's so many denials that I hit on that group page because people want to come and promote different products, and that's not what we're about at Oppies-Law. You know, I myself promote products here and there, and that's me doing it for something that I've created.
Correct. Which is no problem because this is your place of hard work that you've dedicated a lot of your time and energy to. So if you want to co-sign marketing or you want to market anything, you should be free too. But others shouldn't come into your space or your area and try to do something, especially when they're not supporting you and they're not supporting those things. If they were, then you would be supporting their marketing.
Correct.
You feel me? So I definitely feel that as a group owner, we get a lot of the same thing in our groups where, or those stupid Telegram links where they want to comment on every post with a Telegram sale link. And you're like, dude,
Right.
like, why? Like, can't you just comment what you're supposed to comment on this particular post?
Right.
Is it that hard?
Right. Completely agree. It
So
happens
yeah,
a lot.
definitely. So I'm loving what you do. If you could give your mom or and your father, I think you said your adopted parents, both of them, a shout out for the support they've given. Like if they were listening, what kind of thank you would you give them for the support they've been offering you through the years?
Oh, as I'm sitting here glowing, it would just be a big "I love you guys," and they know it.
And they know it.
They
I
know
love
it.
it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. So, I mean, kind of at this point, I think we've covered most of the topics I would cover. I just want to ask a few more like .com questions, maybe. If someone wants to purchase a shirt or donate for a shirt, what would the process be, and where would they find you, and what's your Facebook page name, and spelling, things like that, so
Well,
people know where to find you.
my Facebook name is Luke Weebenga, Wiebenga, and it's got Oppies-Law hyphen, so I'm easy to find. And they can order the shirts through me by just contacting me through the website or through Facebook, and we can go ahead and arrange have a shirt sent out to them.
Okay,
Or they can follow the group and follow the giveaways and try to win one.
Oh, winning one's always fun for sure. I've entered a few of them. I've been trying. I haven't been as lucky yet, but I'm gonna get there. It's been a goal.
Well, We're always doing them. I get all this stuff given to me, and it's not all about me. So there's a lot of people in our world that will never have a chance to go to a festival or to try anything cool and do all that, because of limitations. So that's why I do these giveaways to help other people have these products in their hands.
See, I like it. I always like the stuff you're doing. It's not about you, and it's always nonprofit. It's always fun and creative. Even the clothing you make, like the designs, they look awesome. Like I just gotta hand it to you that you definitely have found your passion, and I'd stick with it.
Oh, I will. I'll be doing this for a long time.
You're like, oh, I will. That's a promise. It sounds like.
Right.
Yeah.
I still got a lot of youth left in me.
Don't we all? Definitely. So yeah, I look forward to doing maybe a follow up with if you maybe want to do another show where you could choose some of the candidates that you've helped and we could do like a spotlight story and maybe the audience could see like one on one some services that you were able to provide. If they want to come on under an alias name, they're more than welcome. ID can always be confidential. But obviously they would need to have audio for a voice, but they can go under any name. They could share their story and how what you guys have been able to do for them and how important it's been for them.
Okay.
I'm definitely
We would love to
interested.
do that.
I'm interested. I always like to hear from the customers that participate in nonprofit work because that's where you can see your hard work. Like you can see it in them, the changes that they've made, the success stories that they have. I feel like people don't highlight those enough right now, and I really think that there's so much good going on within your group that I want to highlight that. Maybe I should be the one.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So it was a pleasure talking with you, Luke, and I look forward to doing some follow ups with you. And I appreciate you coming on the 420 Smoke Room.
You are absolutely welcome. It's our pleasure.
Alrighty, well, this will air hopefully by tonight, and by tomorrow morning, it'll be on all platforms. So hopefully, everyone tune in, and we'll see you later.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.